Welcome to the Amazing Clarks podcast on the Black Love Podcast Network. My name is Anthony Clark.
And I'm Melanie Clark.
And we are the Amazing Clarks.
Clarks.
We are both award-winning certified life and love coaches. We've been coaching together as a team for 22 years, and we've been happily married and passionately in love for almost 30 years. So, today, baby, what are we going to talk about?
Yes, I'm so excited. Well, first, before we get into our topic, I want to talk about our amazing week. We had such an awesome weekend and week traveling. We went to North Carolina to visit your family, and it was so much fun. I just want to say, I loved watching you with your siblings. There was a moment where I was so tired. We partied. We went hard. Like 2 nights.
Yes,
we were up till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. We danced. We had our drinks. It was so fun. But there was this one moment when I was going to bed, and because you guys wanted to stay up later than I did, and I looked down the stairs and I saw you with your sisters and your brothers, and you were all laughing and talking. And I swear I saw your inner children playing together. It was literally like you were little kids reunited, and you were giggling and laughing. And it was so beautiful. Like my heart just burst open with love. It was just so beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, I agree with you. It was beautiful. And the thing that was so amazing about it, even more so, was the fact that was the first time that we all were together in 33 years.
Amazing.
Right, with all of my siblings. And we've been all over the place over the last couple of decades. And so this was amazing. I needed it. I didn't even realize how much I needed it.
You got some healing, baby.
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of healing.
I felt it.
At one point, I tried to ask some questions because I'm always working on my inner child and the things that bothered my inner child. And as a kid, one of the things that bothered me was that I would buy everybody else gifts, my other 4 siblings, but they wouldn't buy me gifts. And so that kind of traumatized me. And I'm a Capricorn baby. My birthday's December 29th. And so when you're a Capricorn baby, it's like, okay, here's your birthday present and your Christmas present all in one. For everybody else, all year long, they're getting their birthday presents and they're getting their Christmas presents. It's separate. You don't just get one that cover both holidays. And so as a kid, that traumatized me. So I brought it up to my siblings, in the middle of us hanging out late at night, and they roasted me. They just went off on me. They were like, what? He wants someone to feel sorry for him. What? And they just came at me. And, normally you would think that someone making fun of something like that wouldn't be good, but actually it was the greatest therapy. Because by talking about it with them, I realized that they were clueless.
Right?
They weren't even thinking about that.
They were little kids.
Yeah, that was my love language, and I got upset because they didn't give me back my love language. But they were oblivious. So all these years, I held on to this story about how I'm not appreciated by my siblings, not loved. Well, I know they loved me. But by them roasting me, it replaced that pain with humor and laughter.
Yes.
And I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. So that was beautiful. It was definitely healing. My mother loved it. And the thing I love about you, I told you earlier that I actually fell more in love with you. And that's something that happens every so often, but it always happens over our 30 years together. And the reason I fell more in love with you, I realized, is because seeing how much you love my family and how much they love you and respect you, and you've become like this leader in my family. No one's ever done that. I would have thought that was impossible, but you did it. And just watching you interact with them and them interacting with you just made me feel closer to you and more in love with you. So thank you.
Aw, I love that. What I really love? I love that you tell me what I'm doing. Like, what is making you fall more in love with me? Because the same thing happens to me. I fall more in love with you too. And it's certain things that you're doing, like when you're happy, would you look out for me? Like there's certain things that'll just hit, it'll just land different. And so I get that. Watching you with your family, one of the things I noticed about myself, I'm just going to be very real right now. There were moments where I got a little jealous because I haven't told you this, I literally felt us disconnect from each other so that you could go play with them. I let you go a little bit. And I had to be like, let him go, let him play. They haven't had him for a long time. You get him every day. So I just tried to like back up and just give you space to do that and not feel like you had to worry about me or wonder what I got going on or what I'm doing or whatever the case may be. Then I was like, when we get home, I'm about to reunite with him. I'm about to reunite with him hard.
Not on that first night.
Right?
First night, like good night.
A good night. But we made up for it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes. So we are reunited and it feels so good. And so, yes, I could feel that you fell more in love with me. I fell more in love with you too. And it's that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the accepting
Yep.
and the allowing and not telling stories about each other and allowing each other to do what we need to do to feel amazing and to be our best selves and to fill our own love cup. Like, Anthony, I watched your love cup fill up. I was like, oh, he gonna have a lot of love for me.
My love cup overfloweth.
It overflow from all that love from your family. And so did mine. Beautiful. And I appreciate how much they love me and accept me as well. It's a beautiful thing. I love your family and they're so much fun. I've never laughed so much in my life. So
yeah, those New Yorkers are crazy. Even though we were in North Carolina, everybody kind of transplanted most of my family to North Carolina, but we're originally New Yorkers. And so that really comes across with that whole culture. It was great. And it was also great that our daughter went. We took our daughter and her boyfriend. And it's crazy because we realize we've been for years looking for couples that we can hang out with because most of the time, we don't want to hang out with couples that are fighting and got drama. And we hung out with single people, but we want couples. And it ended up being that our youngest daughter and her boyfriend, our favorite couple to hang out with. We have a blast. They're mellow, they're easygoing. We can have great conversations. They have a sense of humor. They have become our number one couple. And that was great taking them with us.
Yes. Our little travel buddies, right?
Yeah.
And they're a lot like us because we taught them, right? Like we taught our daughter, we taught her how to love.
They're like mini us.
And how to accept. And then, her boyfriend, he just loves us. So he just goes along with the program. Mm-hmm. And I got to point out, you said earlier you were a Capricorn baby. Both of them are Capricorns. I don't know what it is about me, but I'm surrounded by Capricorns.
That's right.
Right? I'm the water. You guys are the earth and I'm the water just surrounding you guys.
Yeah, that's why it works perfectly.
Yeah, that's why we all flow. We flow really well together. So no, I have to agree. I really love that. I really enjoy traveling with our children. And we're very lucky that at least our two daughters have awesome boyfriends and it's really easy to be around them as couples. So I agree with that. And what we've taught them is how to love each other and do what we're doing, which is allowing each other to be ourselves, filling our own love cup, not forcing each other to do it. So that kind of takes me to like what I want to talk about today. I want us to discuss, because you and I do a lot of coaching on this. I mean, a lot of coaching on you cannot force someone to love you. You cannot criticize or control someone into loving you or changing their behavior. That has to be their choice.
I agree. And with all the couples that we coach and even our friends and family members, they're dealing with that, where they want love, but they try to force their partners to give it to them, and then they get frustrated because it doesn't work. But I found that it's because they don't want to look at themselves. They have that void inside of them, and they're unwilling to fill that void inside of them. And so they're looking at their partners going, you need to fill my void, which is impossible. And it's like we always teach couples. Even though me and you are madly in love, we've been for 30 years, you don't fulfill me.
Right.
And I don't fulfill you. It's not my job to fulfill you, nor is it possible for me to ever fulfill you. That's your job. That's why it's called self-fulfillment. It's not called Anthony fulfill me. It's called self-fulfillment. And that works the same way on my part. It's not your job to fulfill me. It's my job to be the best me possible. It's my job to take responsibility for my happiness. It's my job to take responsibility for feeling loved. I got to love myself. And so that's the struggle. They don't want to do that. They want the other person to do it. And it doesn't work.
Absolutely. You know what I've found with myself, and I noticed it with clients too, because I love to like notice patterns. Because once you have awareness of something, then you could change it, right? And the way that you get awareness of things going on with you is you notice things happening over and over and over again. It's the law of attraction. You're going to keep attracting it over and over and over, whatever it is, right? So what I noticed with myself is when I'm not really taking care of myself, or I don't feel good, I'm not eating well or drinking enough water, or even when I'm procrastinating, that's when I notice what you're doing the most. And that's when I notice the things I don't like that you're doing.
Wait, you trying to tell me there's things that you don't like that I do? I'm not perfect.
Baby.
I don't do everything that you love.
Oh, baby. Yes. There are plenty of things that you do that I don't like.
Okay, people. It's about to get real, people. Okay.
Okay. And there has to be things that I do that you don't like.
Yeah, there are definitely things that you do that I'm not crazy about. That's true. Of course. I'm just teasing. Of course it is.
Right. Everybody has that. Come on. We just got to be real about that.
Right. But I try not to pay attention to those things. And I learned that the more I try to bring them up and try to get you to change them, the worse things get. So it's like, leave her alone. Let me not focus on her. Let me just do me and allow her to do her. And it works. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, all you can do with someone is, if you're doing something I don't like, I will just say, I would like you to do this instead. But then I got to let it go, because you have the choice now to say, I want to, or I don't want to.
I have the choice to say, no, thank you. I'm going to continue to be me.
That's exactly how you say it too.
and I give you credit. I'm a lot. Anthony Clark is a lot.
You are, sir. You are a lot.
That's right. And I'm big energy, big ideas. I'm always on, but you handle it perfectly. And so even when you get like irritated with me, I'm like, yeah, I can't really blame you. I'd probably get irritated too. So, I mean, it's easy for me to take. So I try not to get my feelings hurt.
But there it is again. That's the art of allowing. You know that there's things about me that you're irritated with, but you accept them. And that's really when you know you love someone, is when you can accept their stuff. Like, you can go, I could live with that. Because you can't live with everybody's stuff. I could live with your stuff, obviously. We've been doing it for 30 years. And you can live with my stuff. But I don't feel like I have to force you or control you or make you do the things that I want in our relationship. So why do you think that I don't have to do that? And so many women feel like they have to criticize their man into doing it, or force them. And men do it too, where they complain. They're going to complain and complain and complain, trying to get what they want. Why do you think they do that?
Well, why do they do that, or why don't I do that?
Let's start with you, sir. Why do you do it?
Because I came in this relationship to grow. To go there, we got to grow there. We always are striving to get to higher levels of love and happiness. How are you going to get there? We got to grow there. And so those challenges are opportunities to grow. So when you bring things to my attention, I'm not Al Bundy sitting on his couch like, I don't care, whatever. I don't care, whatever. Right. No. I'm relationship active. I'm not stupid. I already went through one divorce. I'm not trying to do that again.
Right?
No, thank you.
So you're saying that's why you use the art of allowing.
Right, I'm proactive.
That's why you listen when I come to you.
Right, and I realized that based on what we teach our clients, it's the same thing. You are unique. Your fingerprints are unique. You're unique. Likewise, who you are and how you're supposed to do things is supposed to be unique. I believe that we're not here to fit in, we're here to stand out. And if you're being who you authentically are, if you're following your own internal guidance system, you will stand out. You're going to do things a little different. Some might even consider it weird. If you are, kudos to you. You're doing it right. If you're generic, trying to fit in like everybody else, you're not tapping into your power. And so I realized that you have your own internal guidance system. I have mine.
Yes.
You're not supposed to listen to mine. You're supposed to learn to listen to yours. And I'm doing the same thing with mine. So even when you tell me something, if it frustrates you, if my internal guidance system says no, I'm not going to do it. I'll try sometimes to please you, but I can't give up who I am.
Right.
In order to do that.
I mean, I have the same perspective, right? There's sometimes you recommend things, or you say, maybe you should do that. And I'm like, nope. No, thank you. Right? And that's because I know it's not right for me. And we respect that with each other. I don't know that a lot of couples are able to do that, but we've mastered it. We've worked at it. We've studied. We've learned to do that, right? But what most people are doing, especially people we're coaching, is they're criticizing their partner, trying to say, you're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. Or they're trying to control. Don't go here. Don't do that. Don't do this.
Right.
Or you're not allowed to have that. And that sucks because when you're a kid, you can't wait to grow up and be yourself.
Yep.
and be your own person. And then you get in a relationship, and once again, you feel like you have a parent. Mm-hmm. And, one of the things that you said to me as we had these fights early on in our relationship, because you guys...
You mean our passionate debates.
Our passionate debates.
Passionate debates.
We did not start out where we are here. It took time, and it took learning, and it took fights. Passionate debates. And it took issues for us to get here. Those things are actually growing you and growing the love, right? So I had to listen to what you were saying, and I had to take it in and not get defensive and not go, no, you're supposed to do it this way, or this is the only way to do things.
Give me an example.
Let's see what an example would be. You've said to me, don't make me feel bad about being me. Okay, great example. Like we were saying on the vacation. I wanted to hang out with you. There were times where you were walking around and you were just talking to everybody and you were having fun. I could have been like other wives and be like, you're leaving me. How come you're not spending time with me? You're not making sure that I'm okay. You're just ignoring me during this vacation.
Boy, I'm glad you didn't do that. I'm glad you're not that. I'm glad you're not that wife.
Is that a good example?
That's a great example,
right? Because that's what normally happens, right? Mm-hmm. You weren't paying attention to me.
I'm going to be real. There were times when you were going upstairs into the bedroom. Yep. And I wanted you to stay, and I got irritated. And it was just like, where's she going? Why we just getting... Okay, she's doing what she wants to do. Let me not focus on her. Let her do that. And I'll go do my thing. So I had to consciously check myself because of that.
You're adorable. You know why? Because you were going through the exact same thing I was going through, just on your side of it. Why wouldn't we?
We're together all the time. Okay, people, let me tell you this. This is real talk.
Real talk.
Not only have we been together for 30 years, like madly in love, passionately in love, but we literally, over the 30 years, we get up early in the morning, maybe 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. We don't go to bed on average about 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning. Over 30 years.
I'm tired, y'all. I'm so tired.
Because we love to be with each other.
True.
We love to be around each other. We can't wait to get up in the morning and be with each other. At nighttime, we don't want to go to bed because we want to be together. And that's why, if you guys remember that other episode where Melanie was upset with me because she was going to bed and I was staying up, that's what that's about. But you know what? Some might consider that a problem, but that's a beautiful problem.
It's a good problem. That's the case.
It's a good problem because most couples don't want to be around each other. They're trying to get away from each other. We're trying to get back to each other. And that's what I signed up for when we first met. And people thought, nah, that doesn't exist. You can't have a relationship like that. Oh, yes, it does. Oh, yes, we did. And you can have it too. That's what I signed up for, and I'm grateful that that's what we're getting.
Yes. I really like the way that you said that, like, that's what you signed up for, because that's literally what you have to do in a relationship. You have to decide, what do I want my relationship to be like? What am I looking for? What is going to work for me? And when you're dating, you got to look for that in the people that you're dating, not get someone and go, let me turn them into that. Mm-hmm. Let me change them into that. And there were some core things when we were dating that I knew we could work through it with each other. And one of them was, you knew exactly what you wanted. You could describe it to me. You could tell me, you're like, I want to have a happy life. I want to chase my dreams. I remember you telling me this. I want a ride or die chick.
Yep.
I want you to have my back. I'll have your back. I want you to be your best self. I want you to chase your dreams. So I was like, yes, thank you. Please let me sign up for that. But then after, when I looked at you, like, you just had this powerful energy, like you're going to kick down doors and you're going to make it happen. And back then I was a little bit shy. So I was like, I'll just hang out with him and watch him make it happen. And then I'll be next to him and I'll be his little helper. I'll be your happy little helper next to you. But something interesting happened. I learned to be more than just your helper. I grew in helping you grow. Right. And that's the thing, when you can just love someone and not try to change them or control them or put them down, you build them up. Yeah. You allow them to explore and you say, I want that for you. That's what creates the love. That's what makes you fall more in love with me. Me leaving you the hell alone this weekend when you were having fun and not being like, where are you going? What you doing? How much have you had to drink? What are you going to...
Oh, God, thank you. Oh,
that shit right there.
Because it was going on.
It does not work. It doesn't work.
It was going on, not with us, but with, individuals. That happens.
It happens.
Yeah. And so I'm very grateful that you weren't doing that.
Yeah.
Here's another perfect example of like, because you gave me one of something that I did.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, that's not bad. Not bad. It's not a dun 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 dun.
Okay, good. So. It's a good one?
Yeah, it's more
I like it.
Well, I would say, well, let's see what happens. let's see
whatever
where it goes.
Whatever it is, I receive it.
So this is an example of loving, even if you don't like what your partner's doing, that you give your partner that space and you allow them to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things in my life after my divorce, it was like, okay, in the next relationship, my next marriage, certain things I will not put up with.
Right.
And one of them was I would never date a woman that smokes. I would never date a woman that smokes. And I was an athlete, and just the cigarette smell, just the whole concept was like, no way, no way. And then God was like, you want to make me laugh? Tell me what you're going to be doing tomorrow. Tell me who you're going to be dating tomorrow.
Yep.
And then I met you.
Yes, you did.
And you had all these amazing qualities. I fell in love with you, but guess what? You smoked. And it was like, okay. And I would bring it up a couple times like, hey, maybe you should chill on that. And you're like,
don't tell me what to do.
The nails came out.
I've been married and I'm free. Yeah. Don't you take my freedom.
And it was like, okay, that ain't working. So let me back off. And I left you alone.
Yeah, you did.
And even though it bothered me, here's something, whoa, this was crazy when we realized this. We realized that we literally, in the beginning, there was a stage where we really didn't kiss a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it, but it was because of the cigarettes.
Yep. You didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it. So it was like we'd kiss and everything, but it wasn't like that constant,
After I had to do the major scrub down and mouthwash and shower.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Air out every clothing I had.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, you love her. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to walk away because of a pack of menthols? Is that going to break you up? Some Newports? And it was
not the Newports, baby. Yeah. Not the Newports.
And it was like,
we're going to come off kind of ghetto. I think last week we were talking about drinking 40s. I don't care. I do not care. Go ahead.
Hey,
sorry.
It is what it is.
Yes.
Keeping it real. And so by leaving you alone, you slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
Then what I did was to go, if you can't beat them, join them. And I started smoking cloves with you.
No.
And when you go out to smoke, I was like, well, let me get my cloves. Let me get my cloves.
Oh, it broke my heart.
Yeah.
Broke my heart. I could not. No.
Right. And then you stopped.
Yes. How could I live with myself watching you smoke cloves to hang out with me? And that's what it was, because I would go outside to smoke. And so you wanted to be with me. So you're like, I'm going to start smoking too. And you start smoking cloves.
If you can't beat them, join them. I couldn't force you to change.
No, but Anthony, like my heart was like, you look what you're doing to him. I couldn't see myself. It was weird. I couldn't see myself doing it to myself, but I could see myself doing it to you. You know how we always say love's a mirror?
Yeah.
I could see what I was doing to you, and I was like, this is wrong, girl. You wrong, girl. You need to stop. You got to find a way. And so I literally found a way to quit.
And as soon as you stop, when you quit.
As soon as I stopped.
I couldn't wait to put my tongue in your mouth, girl. I was like, we were just nonstop. It was just beautiful. And so I'm grateful.
I think that was a TMI.
That's called the art of life. I am TMI, baby. I am. A&T is TMI, baby. That's right. So
okay.
You know what it is.
Yes, I do know
right.
what
So
it is.
So that was the deal. So that's a perfect example.
Yes, that is a great example. You did allow me to do it in my own time, to let it go in my own time. And I appreciate that. And the joining me was like, that's the ultimate, like, I will accept you so much that I'll be with you in whatever it is you're doing.
So did you do that in your first marriage, your practice marriage?
What did I do? What? Allow?
Did you control?
Oh, yes. I was so controlling. I was critical. I was very critical. But I was not only critical of my first husband, I was critical of myself. Mm-hmm. And this is something that's so important too. I created negative stories about my husband until I could not love him anymore. Mm-hmm. Like the love went away. I killed the love because I was so focused on my negative stories that I started to not see anything at all that I loved.
Right.
And I didn't know better. all the stories in my head, all the stories in my life were pretty much negative stories. And I was using those negative stories to fuel me, right? To like, you got to go to school, you got to work hard. Like I literally worked my ass off from the time I was 16 till last year. Then I was like, yeah, I'm talented now. I'm not doing that no more. Right. But I just created so many negative stories that I made myself depressed. I could not see the good in what I had. I didn't have gratitude for what I had. And I really lost my way. But that is okay, because that's what got me interested in personal growth and self-help books and energy and spirituality and law of attraction and brain science. Like all of the things that I use today to help other people, I learned because I had done what I done. And that's what most people are doing in love. They're telling such negative stories about each other that it starts to just squash the love. And then the more that they close themselves off from the love with those stories, the more they go in and try to control. Right. And the more they go in and try to criticize and force the other person to love them the way they want to be loved. Right. But that does not work. What works is telling a positive story, seeing the things you love about each other, encouraging each other. If you want something from your partner, saying, this would make me really happy if we could do things this way, or if we could have that, or do this, or do that, or to ask questions. What can I do to help you? What can I do to make you feel more loved? How many times have I asked you that, Anthony? What can I do, baby, to make you feel more loved?
You ask me a lot, and I do that with you.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't think I ask as much, but we do that.
Babe, you already know what to do to make me feel more loved. You got a bag of old tricks for sure.
We've been together 30 years. I better know what I'm doing.
Right?
Yep. You know, but even in your first marriage, not knowing that and things ending the way that they did.
Yeah.
You know, I would never be like, oh, that's a good thing. I'm glad it happened. That would be wrong to do that. Yeah, I'm glad it happened. I'm glad.
You're ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm glad. So good job. I'm glad you got it right this time.
Everything happens the way it is supposed to happen.
Yes. EIP.
EIP.
And I did that on my first.
You can't say EIP on the podcast without telling people what EIP is.
Okay, people, whenever you hear us say EIP, this is like one of our mantras. EIP is everything is perfect. There are no accidents. There are no mistakes. Everything that's unfolding, we believe, is unfolding for our greater good. Yes, but in my first marriage, I did the same thing. I tried to...
It's normal. We're learning and growing when we're young. We're building preferences. We don't come out knowing all of this stuff. You know?
You know what?
What?
The perfect setup to this, the way it was delivered when we were watching that TV show that makes everybody cry. Mm-hmm. This is us, I think. Mm-hmm. And the mother in the show said, you know what?
This is us.
Right, this is us. Okay. And the mother was saying that people growing up, when you have children or any relationships, is the same thing. You have this preconceived expectation.
Yes.
Or idea of what it's going to be like, it's supposed to be like.
Right.
And then when you meet that person or you have that child, it doesn't work out that way. They're doing it differently. And then you spend all your time and energy fighting and trying to force them into doing it the way that met your vision.
Yeah.
There was an alignment with it. And then because of that, it hurts the relationship and you end up growing apart. So it's counterproductive. And she said that, you know what? If I would have just been able to go, yes, it's not working out the way I thought it would. So let me now let go of that and adjust to the way that it is.
Yes.
And when she said that, you know what? I almost cried.
Oh, I did cry.
In the inside, not on the outside.
You cried. Oh.
I didn't cry. Not that I have anything against crying people, but that show, it's great.
I cry every time.
And that's why I love it. That's why I love to be there with you when you're crying, and I share that moment with you. Yep. And it's nice, but I very rarely do.
Okay, finish the story. So you almost cried because she said adjust. Was that the main thing, the main word?
Yeah, it was adjust.
Yeah, it's true.
You adjust and let go of the preconceived idea of how things are supposed to be.
Yes.
And that's why I said earlier, if you want to make God laugh, tell him what you're going to be doing tomorrow.
Right.
Because you can't control that. But the key is to be flexible and to be able to go with the flow.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's programming.
Mm-hmm.
So we're fed all this information about what relationships are supposed to be like, how men are supposed to be, how women are supposed to be. And so
if you don't do it that way, you're not a real man.
Yeah.
Or a real woman. And it's like,
Right.
what, are you crazy?
Right. Or
woman.
he's not stepping up, or he's not being the man, or whatever, or, she's whatever. But my point is, it's all of this information that we take in about how we're supposed to be instead of deciding how we want to be for ourselves and getting to know ourselves. And then when we meet someone, allowing them to be their selves and then adjusting with each other and so that you could fit. You know what I mean?
It's the art of allowing. That's what I was saying earlier about.
I'm getting excited.
Wait. Hold on to that excitement. The show's almost done, and we're gonna talk about it. Right,
no, I'm getting excited because I love this topic because I just think it's so important for people to get this.
Oh, that's what I thought you were talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, this goes back to what we were saying earlier about your fingerprint being unique and your path being unique and following your own internal guidance system. That's where it is. Okay, people, listen to me. If you're in a relationship, stop focusing on your partner.
Yes.
Allow your partner to do them and you do you. This is so important. This is really, if I can give you like some game tonight, the most important thing, it's that. Allow each other to be each other and don't make each other feel bad.
And when you do focus on each other, focus on the things that you love and point them out. And tell them what they're doing right. And tell them what you would love more of and ask them what they would love more of. And share the information in a positive way, because criticizing, controlling, shaming does not make people love you. It does not work. It pushes them away. And I don't know who decided that's how you relate to each other. It does not work. Only the love is what draws us in the beginning, because we're giving each other positive feedback. And then we stop and we wonder why we don't feel the love the same way, which there's a whole reason for that, but we don't have time to get into that tonight. Right. We'll go deeper on another podcast on that.
Yeah, you keep talking like that, you're going to create a love revolution.
I'm pretty much hoping that is what is going to happen, because our love revolution is about people loving each other more, right? Loving themselves and loving each other more. Yep. So that is what it's all about.
I agree.
So we agree. We agree. You can't force someone to love you. You can't control them into it, and you can't criticize them into it. You can only allow them to be themselves, and you be yourself, and then allow it to flow.
I can't make you love me if I don't. You can't make my heart feel something it won't. That's right.
I've heard that somewhere before.
I know, and I heard that shit before somewhere.
Yeah, I heard of somewhere before.
You know what it is.
But it's so true. Yes. It's so true. Well, thank you so much for having this discussion with me, Anthony.
No, let's not end the show. Let's keep going. I love the people. I want to stay connected. We're having fun.
We have a lot more for the people. We will be back for the people, but I think we're going to have to leave it right there. I hope that helps someone out there.
Yeah, I hope so too. So I won't try to control the show. And, I know we got to go, but it's been great.
Yes, it has.
Great. Yes. So on that note, people, thank you for listening to the Amazing Clarks podcast on the Black Love Podcast Network. And stay tuned for our next episode. And make sure to share and be sure to leave us some reviews. Let us know what you're loving. We are here for you. It is all about you. And we're excited to share our love revolution with you, because we want you to love yourself more and others more to make this world a better place. Keep spreading the love, people. Keep spreading the love, and we will see you next time.
See you next time.